week's Hike Through History. Today we're walking from Crackerville Road to Fairmont Road. I'm Aubrey Japp with the Butte-Silver Bow Archives.
And I'm Abby Peltema with the Butte-Silver Bow Superfund Division. Today we're going to show you the stretch of the Copperway Greenway Trail from Crackerville to Fairmont Road. This trail goes along Silver Creek. The Greenway Trail boasts miles of trails. Previously, we hiked along the Copperway Trail in Uptown Butte from Foreman's Park to the Granite Mountain Memorial and from Montana Tech to the World Museum of Mining. The vision is that one day you could start at the Granite Mountain Memorial and go all the way to Anaconda and maybe beyond. Pending the time of year, keep an eye out for wildflowers, birds, and other animals. Over 100 different species of birds have been observed here.
Ore must be smelted to extract the copper from it, and Marcus Daly chose Anaconda, which was named after his Anaconda mine, as the site for his smelter. Anaconda was chosen in part because there were already several smelters in Butte, and they were putting a strain on the timber and water resources in the area. Anaconda Works smelted its first copper in 1884. Although it was larger than the Butte smelters, it still could not keep up with the output of Anaconda's company's mines. So Daly built a second smelter in 1889, which could smelt 3,000 tons daily. As output of the Anaconda mines continued to increase, ACM built another larger smelter to replace the older ones, and this was called the Washoe Smelter. It began its operations in 1902 and could treat 5,000 tons a day, more than the old works could. Increased capacity also meant greater discharge of smoke, which directly impacted the farmers and environment in this area, an issue that was tried to solve with the 1918 smokestack.
Along with smelting and air pollution damaging the area, tailings were another issue from the Butte and Anaconda tailing dumps. The tailings devastated farmland areas and ranchland areas. For over 100 years, historic tailings and mine waste were washed down Silver Bow Creek. The flood of 1908, the largest on record for the upper Clark Fork River Basin, washed millions of cubic mine yards of waste downstream and onto the floodplain. The waste washed down from the flood was stopped by the Milltown Dam. Due to the heavy metals from the toxic mine waste in the water, aquatic life was devastated, and the creek was declared a dead creek for a long time, as it had almost no fish. On the floodplains, vegetation could not grow and therefore provided little habitat to sustain any wildlife. In 1983, Silver Bow Creek was listed as a Superfund site. A Superfund site is a toxic waste area that is required by law to be cleaned. Required. This was and is good news for us. Cleanup began on Silver Bow Creek in 1999. Millions of cubic mine yards of tailings and waste have been removed from the stream corridor and floodplain. The Montana Department of Environmental Quality, DEQ, and the Natural Resource Damage Program, NRDP, in consultation with the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, or the EPA, have worked to not only remediate as required by Superfund, but bring restoration to the creek as well.
Gregson Springs is located 9 miles west of Nistler and is a favorite spot of people from Butte and Anaconda. It offers fishing, hunting, and an escape from the city. It was originally called the Upper Deer Lodge Hot Springs Resort. Gregson Springs was located in 1869 by George and Eli Gregson, who acquired the property for $60. The Gregson brothers took claim of the surrounding 320 acres where they began a dairy farm. The Gregson brothers also turned to developing 12 hot spring pools, building a 2-story hotel suitable for 60 guests, a plunge, 5 large bathing rooms, a bar room, and sleeping apartments. A flume was also built to bring hot and cold water to the bathing houses. In August of 1912, the Miners' Union held their picnic at Gregson Springs. The mill and smeltermen of Anaconda also held their picnic on the same day. Flat cars from the BAMP brought several thousand to the resort for the afternoon sporting events. The events concluded with a Tug of War contest between the Butte miners and the Anaconda smeltermen. The smeltermen won, but the result was beer bottles being thrown into the air, and someone shot a gun into the air, causing a panic amongst the crowd. One man was killed by the gunfire and another badly wounded. The next day, a man was found dead on the railroad tracks on the way back to Butte. He had apparently fallen from the picnic train on the way from Gregson to Butte. Days later, the Miners' Union announced that it would not be awarding the $100 prize for the Tug of War contest due to the serious ending of the Tug of War battle. Marcus Daly built the Butte, Anaconda, and Pacific Railway in 1892 to haul ore from his Butte mines to a smelter in Anaconda. It ran 26 miles between the two cities. It was dubbed the biggest little railroad in the nation due to the railroad carrying more tonnage to the mile year-round than any other railroad in the country. In 1913, the Butte, Anaconda, and Pacific electrified its rails and became a model for other railroads across the country. The B&P not only hauled ore, but also agricultural produce, industrial products, and passengers, many who stopped on their way to Gregson.